The world we live in today promotes being cold-hearted, promotes, they call it as being stoic, right? They call it as stoicism. They call it being rational. And the truth is that if you look at the world around you, we have an epidemic of people who are cold as fuck. People who have no empathy for each other. People who've been played a lot, especially with dating. I remember I was on Tinder for a few years. I was on Tinder. I remember because I was lazy to meet people outside of like online. And there you met some of the coldest motherfuckers on the planet. And when I say cold, I mean they're able to smile in your face, like you, but then instantly freaking disappear on you like that, right? And you have an epidemic of people who don't know how to have normal human relationships, who don't know how to open up, who don't know how to be vulnerable, who don't know how to show people that they care without self-reflecting, without thinking how they're coming across. In my opinion, true confidence is letting people see your flaws. True confidence is letting people see that you're also a weak human being, that you value their opinion, that if you don't like me back, it's gonna hurt me. And that if you leave me, I'm gonna be sad, but I will get over it, right? A lot of people don't want to see people see that vulnerable side, the side that hurts. They only want people to see the side that recovers, the side that's strong, the side that stands with its head up. The truth is that that's not how life is. Life is full of disappointments. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to be rejected. It's okay to have a series of rejection and have bad luck. We all try to hide a very normal human part of being human, which is failure, you know? And this trauma, because it is a certain trauma, it is a level of trauma, because first of all, humans today have less capacity for trauma because we've been so coddled. Our bodies have less capacity to take on certain bacteria and certain types of food. We have lower immune systems emotionally. And the reason why is because of all of the loss and betrayal that we experience on a daily basis. The envy, the jealousy that we feel on a daily basis is a drip, drip, drip type of phenomenon. And this consistent pain, consistent sense of isolation creates emotional walls as a defense mechanism that protects them from any ongoing pain. They develop a protective mechanism for that, right? And as a result, people develop disillusionment and cynicism because the repeated disappointment creates a sense of disillusionment with life and people, and could cause people to be more cynical and just emotionally distant. They say, why bother? Why try? Why love? Why try to get what I want? Why try to get this person to like me? This person's not going to like me. I always get rejected. You know, I'm not that attractive. I don't have no friends. And this sense of like, you start to predict disappointment. You start to predict negative things from happening. And because you start to predict these types of disappointments, your defenses go up because you think everywhere you go, you're going to get attacked. So as a result, you hide behind a veneer of emotional walls, of pain and the ego. And this veneer cracks every now and then, but a lot of the times we learn how to keep ourselves protected through isolation. By the way, if you feel like you become a cold-hearted motherfucker, right, and you want to get out of that mental space, or you're noticing that this is causing problems in your relationships, and you want to know what to do to rescue your relationships, to make sure that the people around you don't leave you, what are you doing wrong? Or maybe you want to hear my opinion on your case. Sometimes listening to my videos is not enough because it's not specific enough. Sometimes you need to talk to literally me so I can hear your problem and give you customized advice. You could do that today. You can click in the description down below where it says work with me one-on-one, and you can have a one-on-one session today. All right, so I'll see you guys inside, and let's continue with the video. We start to isolate ourselves when we feel scared. We start to isolate ourselves when we feel attacked. When we feel lonely. You see this a lot with drug addiction. One of the components that you're getting addicted to the drug is that you stop doing the drugs with your friends and you start to isolate yourself. The reason for that is because of pain. The pain that you experience is so powerful and so incredible that you learn to numb the pain. And this numbness of the pain doesn't just numb the pain, it numbs everything about you. It's not just a localized numbness like a doctor putting it in your mouth, right? Pause. Um, it's an anesthetic that spreads throughout your whole spiritual body, and it makes you numb. I've met people like that. I've been like that at one point where um I just I remember I thought there have been points in my life where I didn't know what I was feeling. Like I wrote, I remember writing in my diary where I would say, I don't feel nothing. Um, I feel no emotions. I feel empty inside. Usually, the empty emotions you feel, the emptiness is really an emotion. Like emptiness is an emotion, and that emptiness is an emotion that you have not observed. What tends to happen with emotions is that they rot if you don't look at them. It's like a baby. If you don't look at a baby, little motherfucker baby will die. If you don't observe your emotions, rather you push them away through distractions, isolation, mental patterns that protects you from your own self, it tends to rot in the emotion like meat that's outside for too long. And that sensation of emptiness is really just unobserved emotions. And people go throughout their whole lives cold as fuck on the inside, like a thawed meat that's ready to rot. People just go throughout their lives that way, and because of that, they stop relating with people. They don't really connect with people anymore. They expect negative experiences from every person that they encounter, that they fail to really notice every person's individuality. They have learned to process people in an automatic, unconscious way. Rather than saying, okay, who is this person? This person might be different. You say, okay, this person's just like everyone. Like the last person who fucking hurt me, this person's gonna hurt me too. So let me make sure I protect myself because they're just like everyone. And you know what happens? You stop connecting with the world. You're actually interacting with your own fantasies, with your own pain. I was watching a show yesterday that kind of like showed me something about myself that I didn't know. I was watching Blade Runner, and Blade was interacting with a robot, and the robot was telling her sweet things. The robot will kiss him. It's a holographic robot, and he had a relationship with the robot. And I was watching him. I was like, yo, this is pathetic. But then I was like, wait a minute, this looks like when I used to do like crazy amount of drugs, man. Like, because he's interacting with a robot. I was interacting with the drugs. I was home doing it, having fun. But in reality, I was in my own fantasies. I was experiencing the effects of the drug. So because of that, I wasn't really interacting with the world. I was creating an experience in my mind that allowed me to connect with that experience, but disconnect from the world and my emotions. And the more you're in that space, that disconnected space, the more disconnected from reality. It's like Inception, right? They say that the more, in the movie Inception, how the deeper you get into the inception, the harder it is to get out, right? It's like you stay so long in this fantasy world that you start to mistake it for reality. And that's how you develop that coldness, because you're not connected to reality. You're inside, you're self-absorbed. You're not really looking. The world is changing. The world wants to rescue you, but you're just inside in your own mind, in your own pain. So what tends to happen? Well, first of all, because you're not connected with reality, you're gonna have a lot of problems socially. You're gonna have a lot of disconnection. You're gonna have a lot of misunderstandings. You're gonna hurt a lot of people, right? The isolation will lead to social isolation. It will develop creepy social feedback in your face. Like you're gonna develop weird habits socially, right? Because of isolation. Because people give you feedback. If you're being weird, when you're around people, people actually take you back to normalcy through peer pressure or through you noticing. But because you're so isolated, you start to develop really weird habits. If you notice, the most serial killers, a lot of them live isolated, and they don't know how weird their life is because they just don't get feedback from people, right? Your relationships will struggle because of lack of emotional reciprocity. You stop being able, your human receptors of other people and reacting to them get cold, get worn out, or even unused. And those neural pathways that you use to socialize get weaker and weaker. And each time it gets weaker, the harder it is to go back. And because of that, you develop more mental health issues, depression, anxiety, a sense of emptiness. And it's reflected in your face, or better yet, you numb yourself to those emotions that your face stop receiving those emotional signals, and you just look like a cold motherfucker, cold as a wolf, like a psychopath. And as a result, this cold demeanor might attract some people. Honestly, it might attract some people. But really, you're gonna have missed opportunities for meaningful connections because of this, right? And this tends to even push the people in your life further away. And a lot of us, I have family members that are like that. That they've lived such a tough life, such a hard life, that all they see out there are people trying to hurt them. And no matter how much you try to tell them that they're okay, no matter how much you try to tell them that you're not really, I'm not really attacking you, I'm not really trying to be mean. No matter how much you try to say that, they don't live in reality. They see the world through a squinted gaze of foggy emotions. They've been jaded. And because of that, they expect you to hurt them, even though you're not hurting them. And even when you're not hurting them, they think you're hurting them. And it causes them to just push everyone away. This creates intense trust issues, communication barriers. They're horrible to work with. And your life is just complete emptiness. It begins to reflect your inner world. Like I said, this might be an attractive quality for some people, because you become an empty slate that people could project, an empty screen that people could project their fantasies upon you, their pain, their suffering, their sadness. And they might find you mysterious. They might find you attractive because you're so cold, you're so indifferent, you look chilled. But they're also projecting. The reason why they're seeing this illusion is because they're also hurt, because they also want somebody's validation. Maybe they have someone cold in their life, and you remind them of them. And the coldness attracts them towards you. Your coldness and indifferent appears aloof, appears confident, appears relaxed, appears like you're happy. That's how some people interpret the coldness. And because of that, you're going to have people chase you. You're going to have people try to fix you. You're going to have people try to help you. What they don't know is that trying to help you only gets them more deep into the quicksand of indifference and impartiality. They're going to start to seek your validation even more, and you're going to disappoint them, which makes them chase even harder. And don't get me wrong, that's nice if you're dating someone, right? Like, if you're dating someone and it's in a short term and you just want to fling, you want a nice and spicy, the coldness might be able to facilitate that. But to your friends and family, to the people around you, that doesn't help. It helps with short-term relationships, sure. Cold people tend to attract a lot of people. They look more competent because they're so serious. They're so cold on the inside. It just comes across as a competent, serious person. But with relationships, long-term relationships, it just creates unnecessary insecurities in your partners. It just creates problems. It dwindles their self-esteem. And you don't even notice how much of an asshole or a bitch you're acting around them. But because of that, they want to help you. They want to rescue you. Don't get me wrong, the coldness is nice. And for example, I tell people, right? That's why you got to lower your nonverbal cues, right? When you first meet people, have relaxed nonverbal cues, right? Talk to them in a more like serious manner. Smile, but smile a little bit. Because too much tends to come across as incompetent and as insecure, right? So the relaxation, the slowness in response, the coldness, the sense of coldness that you feel from the cold person, especially if the cold person actually tries to act nice, it creates more intense validation. And that's why they're so addictive, right? It's the one who seems like they care the least usually is the one that come across as more competent, more powerful, more confident, right? And it's a quality that I tell people to adapt a little bit in your life, right? Because every area has some truth behind it. right? That's why you see not only most of the people who are the most successful have narcissistic traits, right? I'm not telling you to be narcissistic, right? I'm just saying adopt a few qualities of those narcissists: the confidence, the vision, the grandiosity to a certain degree, the charisma, the belief, the vision, like I said, and you could prune away the negative and just keep the positive, right? So in this thing, I want you to develop a little bit of coldness. But the problem is that when you become cold, you need to warm up. Now, how do you do that, right? Well, the first thing is to connect with your body. The first thing that happens when you become cold is that you disconnect with your body and you start to interact with your mental fantasies, right? You stop interacting with the physical world and you start interacting with the mental world. And this disconnection from reality will cause you to literally not feel your body. When you feel your body, you start to feel emotions all of a sudden. Because the numbness, when you say my body, my emotions feel numb, if you actually pay attention, you'll notice that you also have less awareness of the physical sensations in your body. That's really what happens. But when you're having a deep emotional, a deep spiritual experience, you notice you have a deep connection with the body, right? Um, it's like when a woman has a kid and she has a kid in her hand. A lot of women say they felt like a spiritual experience. Well, guess what? You have a physical connection with the body in that moment, right? So you learn to practice meditation by being aware of the physical sensations of your body. You get back to reality by connecting with your body. Observing the physical reality of the sensations that are happening allows you to see the truth, allows you to clearly see what's happening. Once you're able to clearly see the reality of what's happening right now in your body, meaning feel your feet right now, feel your feet. You notice you felt the feet. For some reason, you weren't noticing the sensations of your feet. Now, you are clearly seeing the reality that was eluding you a few seconds ago. And this ability to see this reality opens up your ability to see the reality of your mind and the reality of life itself. By you shining a light on the reality of the sensations of the body, it also creates peripheral light for other aspects of reality. And the more you illuminate the reality of your body, the more your body will illuminate the reality of your mind and the world itself. And from the body, you get back to reality, you know? And you'll notice that highly traumatized people are not connected with the body. You could walk right by someone who's in their heads and they won't even notice you because they're not connected with reality. Feeling the body will bring back that sense of life, that flow that we experience when we feel alive. Cold people just don't feel alive. They want to exit life. And they just want to live through life without feeling nothing. And I encourage you, if you get to that place, return to the body. Bring awareness to the body. And from that, your mind will be illuminated as a result. Another thing is that, you ever notice how the school answers, right? Usually guys, you ever wonder why they get to that point? Well, it's because one, like I said, they get rejected by society and then they isolate themselves. And in this isolation, like we talked about, they develop a lot of weird belief systems and weird habits. And they actually start to join cults, right? Join fringe groups that share their pain, that share their resentment. And this sense of belonging, because they've been isolated, creates an echo chamber. And that echo chamber is usually rooted in pain and resentment on society, in resentment in the people that hurt them. And this causes a dehumanizing process where they stop seeing people for people and they start to see them as enemies, as people who should be hurt, as people who are cold, and as people who deserve to be punished. And they develop this hostile attitude. And it doesn't even just stay, it's not just for people who are attacking people. It also happens at low levels where guys will say women ain't shit, women will say guys ain't shit. And they start to actually develop narcissistic traits to hurt them. They start dating with a purpose, dating to hurt people, dating to manipulate, dating to give them the pain that they got. And these people create a revolving door of pain, a revolving door of suffering, where everyone is attacking each other. Everyone is trying to hurt someone before they get hurt. And this is pretty much the dating environment today, where people just don't want to get hurt, and so they want to hurt you before you hurt them. They want to leave you before you leave them. If they sense a little bit of coldness, they don't even ask, they don't even communicate. They just leave. They reject you first because they've been jaded, you know? And that's why rejection is not personal, people. That's why I said, like, that's why nowadays people have more weird reasons to reject you. People reject you more now than ever before. And because of that, you have to understand that the rejection that you're getting from them is not personal. And you should not take that personal. You should not assume that it's a reflection of who you really are, and realize that there's a lot of people in pain. That there's a lot of people, even though you're a great person, they're so jaded. They're so much in pain. Their eyes are not opening up, are not looking at reality. They're not really looking at you. So when they don't like you and you did nothing wrong, don't take it personal. If you react to that over time, you can literally become them. It's like Friedrich Nietzsche said, if you stare long enough at the abyss will stare back at you.
So a lot of you guys have been asking me, how can I purchase all of your courses in one go? Well, if you guys want to purchase all of them, you guys can join the Mindful Attraction University, people. Yeah, that's right. And in this, you'll be able to access all of my courses for $3.99. Initially, if you purchase all of my courses, Emotional Mastery, Psychological Game of Attraction, my new course, The Feminine Woman, Natural Chemistry, Charisma Blueprint, Nice Girl, you guys can purchase all of it for $600, but with the bundle deal, you guys can purchase it for $3.99, or you guys can purchase it in 3 easy payments of $125, people. Yeah, that's right. Or you guys can purchase it with the bonuses. So you not only do you get the courses, but the bonuses, and that comes down to $7.99, or 4 easy and mindful payments of $199. Now, these bonuses are not regular bonuses. These bonuses are legit, almost like courses within a course, right? So you guys can just click on the description down below and explore the types of bonuses. For example, I have bonuses on how to get over your ex, how to become more creative, how to, especially in the feminine woman, I have a bonus about how to penetrate the mind and how to speak in a way that gets people to do what you want them to do. Like, it's honestly one of the craziest sections that I've ever made, because most of these courses, people, I come up with those ideas in meditation retreats. Nobody goes to the extent that I go. I go to meditation retreats to create these courses. There's a 14-day money back guarantee. If you don't like it, just ask me for the money back within 14 days, and I'll give you all the money back. Father Alex has never rejected a money back offer if I offered it. So, and if you guys already purchased one of my courses, for example, and you guys want to get the bonuses while getting a discount, you know what I'm saying? I have discount codes for people who purchase my courses. So if you purchase my courses, just send me a private message. Or if you work with me one-on-one, I'll give you a big discount for the courses. And there I can help all of you guys understand that this is a movement. Most people never knew this type of knowledge before. And I am trying to empower women across the world and liberate them from these negative and one-sided relationships through these courses. So hopefully you guys can spread the message and help other people out. And I'll see you guys inside, or else I'm close to the